let's take a look at the queues section. Queues are designed to hold customer requests in sequence until a contact center agent can attend to them. There are 3 types of queues available: voice, chat, and email. Your contact center agents can receive and respond to incoming requests one at a time using the CCA application. During your initial setup with Intermedia is when you will be setting up your queues so that they appear on this page. Before that time, no queues will be present to configure. If you wish to add more queues at a later time, you must contact Intermedia support to ensure it is created correctly and properly implemented into an IVR. On the queues page, you will see the name of each queue and its type, which can be voice, chat, or email. Next is the priority column, which designates the delivery priority. This means if you had a queue that required calls to be delivered before other queues, then you could change the priority of this queue to 1, which is the highest priority. For example, let's say you have a customer service queue and it is set at a priority of 5, and then you have a VIP customer queue which is set at a 1. If both these queues get 5 calls for each one, and you have 5 agents that are members of both queues, then each agent will get 1 call from the VIP queue, while the other 5 callers in the regular customer service queue will remain on hold. If you wish to determine priority based on the agent and not on the queue, then this can be done in the agent section, which will be covered later in this training. The acceptable waiting time and maximum waiting time columns will start with default values. These can be adjusted to match your company's service level expectations. If a call is on hold longer than the acceptable wait time, but less than the maximum wait time, then the CCA display will change the font color for this queue from green to orange as a visual alert to the agents in the queue. This will drive down your service level when calls are on hold longer than the acceptable waiting time. The maximum waiting time designates what is too long for a request to wait in queue. When a call in queue is on hold for a greater period of time than the maximum waiting time, then both the CCA display and the monitoring screen will change the font color of this queue to red. Click the Options button on a queue's row to configure the following. When Allow Dequeuing is set to Yes, this will remove callers from a queue when the maximum waiting time has been reached. When set to No, a caller in a queue is able to hold indefinitely. This should be discussed and implemented with Intermedia prior to enabling this feature to ensure that callers who are removed from the queue are sent to a desired voicemail, callback queue, transferred, or presented with a recording. The default dequeuing procedure sends the callers to a voicemail. Active Bulletin lets you select a bulletin to play that you have previously created. A bulletin is a recording that is used to announce important information to callers, such as service outages, office closures, special promotions, and any other messages you decide to play for your customers. A good example of making use of this feature would be if dequeuing is set to No, and you have many callers on hold that have waited for longer than the maximum waiting time due to a service outage. An admin could come here, activate a temporary bulletin that explains the outage and apologizes for the inconvenience, and then callers who are on hold in the queue will hear this message. Mailbox. This field is where you input the email address for where voicemails should be sent to. When entering multiple email addresses, separate them by using a semicolon or a comma with a space. Calling name, which is for outbound call use only, is a drop-down menu that lets you overwrite information that is displayed on a phone when a customer receives a call. Use default values will display the default information on the phone. You can also set this to use queue name to display the originating queue name on the phone display, or set it to use DNIS label to display the originating DNIS label, which is simply the original dialed telephone number. AutoConnect Survey allows you to specify a survey, which can be described as a second-level IVR, where the caller is automatically connected to once the contact center agent hangs up the call. Your survey must first be created and then set here for callers to be sent to it. Next are the headings across the top of the queues page. Manage Queue Groups allows you to set up groups of queues that can later be applied to bulletins, the metrics dashboard, working hour schedules, and even some reports where there are queues as a parameter. Manage Alerts allows you to configure alerts or conditions for each queue listed, different levels of alerts, and the time period for which each alert is active. On this page, you will select the queue you wish to configure. Next, select the alert level, which can be level 1, 2, or 3. Level 1 indicates the highest urgency. Next, select the alert type. Queue unattended means no agents are signed in during open hours of operation. High waiting time means a request has been waiting in queue for longer than the configured minutes. Heavy workload refers to the number of excess items in the queue, meaning if the number of calls, emails, or chats exceeds the number you input here, then an alert is sent out. Low service level refers to sending an alert when the service level percentage falls below the input percentage. Too many agents available refers to the number of agents available for an extended length of time. The number of agents and length of time available are configured here. When one of the conditions is met for these alerts, then an email is sent out to the address input during setup. Once the alert has been configured, you then go to the Recipients tab to configure who will receive the alert emails. When entering multiple email addresses, separate them by using a semicolon or a comma with a space. Comments is used for sharing notes with any other administrators who access this page. Alerting period is the configured time frame for when alerts can be sent.